let me just share with you the 3 things that I did to build a network of agents all across the country and how you can do it too. $5,000 in residual income is equivalent to $1.6 million invested at 6% interest. What if I told you that if you are a fellow real estate agent, you hold your real estate license just like I do, no matter what state it is that you reside in, if you are a realtor, this is something that is open to you. This is something you potentially could be participating in, and you could be bringing in this passive income as well. It's not so passive at first. Yes, it takes time, it takes discipline, it takes skills, real skills. But if you can sell a house, okay, if you have developed the skills that it takes to go on a listing appointment and win the listing, you absolutely have what it takes to do what I'm going to be telling you today. I know what you're thinking right now. Before you click off this video, if this is you thinking this is not recruiting. But by the end of this video, I think you're going to know why. I'm actually going to share at the very end some key reasons why this is not recruiting and what separates what I'm talking about from recruiting. Because here's the thing. I was super turned off by brokerages that offer a revenue share model as well. I always said, actually, before I joined a brokerage with a revenue share model, not just a brokerage with one, but the best. I might be biased, but before I joined the brokerage that I'm with right now, Real Broker, I always said I will never, ever, ever join a cloud-based brokerage. And the reason wasn't just because it was cloud-based. Yes, I didn't like that. I just didn't know. I didn't know what it would actually be like. And we're obviously, as humans, we're very ignorant sometimes. If we don't know much about something, then we kind of just decide we don't like it. It's not for us. It's not a good thing. But then once we learn more about something, we tend to change our minds oftentimes. But I said I will never go to a cloud-based brokerage. And one of the reasons was because they offer this revenue share model, and I'll get into all of this in my story, how I built a network of agents across the country, and most importantly, how you can too, and why I believe you should. And we're going to be saving the most important piece for the very last. So you're not going to want to go anywhere. But I always said I will never join a brokerage that has a revenue share model because I had some really crummy experiences, if I'm just going to be honest, before I switched brokerages. So a little background about me. If you're new here, if you're not new here, just skip on forward. I got my real estate license when I was 18, right out of high school. I have now been in the business for 10 years. A couple years after getting licensed, my husband was able to quit his job cold turkey, and we became a husband and wife real estate team, and we have been one ever since. We were both with the same brokerage, a big franchise, brick and mortar style brokerage, our entire career up until, I don't know, 2.5 years ago now, something like that. We ended up switching to Real Broker. And on a whim, very spontaneous, but we knew out of nowhere, it came up and we just knew it was what we needed to do, and it's been the best decision ever. But up until we switched, I always said, I will never switch brokerages because I thought it was a huge waste of time. I was happy where we were at. But I also said I will never join a cloud-based brokerage. Not just would I never switch, I would never switch, especially to a cloud-based, because the revenue share model had such a bad taste in my mind. I remember specific instances where agents would try to invite me to coffee only to find out that it was a bait and switch thing. They really just wanted to talk about their cloud-based brokerage, not Real Broker, because we're not allowed to do that here. Our culture is much different, which we'll talk about at the end. You can still enjoy the revenue share model, which I believe benefits everyone involved, the sponsor, the sponsee, literally everyone, the company, without any of that recruiting stuff. But I just had some really bad experiences that really made me not like this revenue share model. It made me think I never want to participate in that. I want nothing to do with it because it just had such a negative taste in my mouth. I'm gonna share today 3 things that I've done that has allowed me to build a network of agents across the country. We are talking about agent attraction tips, revenue share tips, and all of that. And by the way, if you're new here and you're like, what the heck is that? What does revenue share mean? What is any of this that you're even talking about? I did a video not too long ago on my channel sharing the exact revenue share model, or breaking down revenue share / just explaining, I guess you could say, what revenue share even is at Real Broker. You can find that on my channel. I'm going to share with you guys the 3 things that I've done But before I get into the 3 things that I've done, and then after that I'm going to share how you can do this as well. There's so many ways that it can be done, but I'm going to share some practical ways that you can do this as well. And I'm also going to share a little bit of what separates this that we're talking about today from the recruitment model. Agent recruiting, we don't want that around here. That is just not what we're doing over here. That's not how we do things around here. So I will share with you some main reasons as to why this is not that before the video's over as well. So stay tuned. But before we get into the 3 things that I did, I just kind of wanted to share real quick why I think revenue share and agent attraction is a noble thing. It is not a slimy, salesy thing. For me personally, I have always been super passionate about helping, being in relationship with, collaborating with, and just helping however I can and talking to other fellow real estate agents. Even back to when I was 18 and a brand new real estate agent, I remember even back then I would have agents in my marketplace calling me on the phone out of the blue saying, "Hey Mariah, can you meet me for coffee, or can you just give me some advice right now over the phone and tell me like what are you doing, because I see you over here getting these listings and you're 18, new in the business. I'm also new, but I'm quite a bit older than you and I don't have any business, so what are you doing?" I would get those calls when I was a new agent, and I was always super happy to help however I can. And then I started this YouTube channel and really just started adding value to agents however I can. Candidly sharing what's working in my business, what's not working, not necessarily as an expert, by no means as a real estate coach. That's never been my vibe or what I've been trying to do, but just openly sharing, like, agent to agent, friend to friend, what's working in my business. And agents from all over the country started calling me and connecting with me and saying like, "Hey Mariah, what you said really resonated with me and you've really helped my business," or "What do you think about this?" It's something that truly brings me joy, that I do feel called to, that I've always loved doing so much. And it's something that I did for years for free in my real estate career, like I just shared. And it's something that I would do for free. But the fact that agent attraction and this revenue share model gives us the ability to actually get paid to be having conversations, helping where we can, agents in other markets and our own, is such a blessing. I don't want to spend too much time here on this one point that I'm going to share right now, because this is really not what today's video is about. I really want to get to sharing with you guys exactly what I've done, how I've built a network, and how you can as well, and all of that. But I do really want to get this point across, that revenue share and sponsorship and all of this that we're talking about today is a really good thing. It's a really healthy thing for the real estate industry in general. The way that this works is Real Broker does not have a marketing fund. They're not spending insane amounts of dollars to be advertised on, the Super Bowl or have big commercials like that, like so many other brokerages do. Basically, they take all of that marketing fund, or what would be their marketing fund, and they give it back to their agents to say thank you for helping grow the company. So the way it works is anytime somebody joins Real Broker, they sign up with a sponsor. They write the sponsor's name on their ICA, their independent contractor agreement. That sponsor, I will say later on what they can't do, what separates us from other brokerages that have this model, what makes this not a recruitment thing. But that sponsor, there's a lot of things they can't do, they can't promise, but they can and should have a vested interest in the success of the person naming them as their sponsor, their success at the company. So they should have a vested interest in their success, if that makes sense. Every agent that joins Real Broker has the same splits, caps, fees, all of that. It is an 85-15 split until you cap. It is a $12,000 a year cap. That means once you reach the cap, you then keep 100% of your commission minus a small processing fee or something like that. So before you cap though, your sponsor receives a small portion of your commission. It comes out of what would go to the company, if that makes sense. So this is not, what I'm trying to explain is that this is not something where it's like you pay to have a sponsor or you pay more than you would if you didn't have one. No. Everybody at the company pays the same amount for their split, their cap, the fees, all of that. And once you cap, your sponsor does not get anything from what you're making, if that makes sense. But I guess what I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to get across here is the fact that you having a sponsor doesn't cost you anything. The brokerage has really set this up to where this is their marketing fee, what would be their marketing fund that they're giving back to their agents to say thank you. So you having a sponsor does not cost you a single penny as a real estate agent at Real Broker. And you actually are able to have 2 sponsors. It's called co-sponsorship. I've done videos explaining this. If you want more information on that, you can find them on my channel after this video. The reason that this is actually a good thing, this shouldn't be taboo, this shouldn't be a thing that we don't want to talk about, because I feel like talking to other real estate agents, nobody wants to talk about this. People think that if you have an interest in this, you must be automatically slimy or money hungry or just have bad intentions or whatever. But you guys, that is not the way that this should be seen. That is not the way it should be. That should not be the heart of this business model, because it is a legit business model. If you have obtained your real estate license, then you know. There's not a lot of training at real estate school. When you go to real estate school, whether you go in person or online, you don't really get trained on like how to get business, how to prospect, how to generate leads, how to do video marketing, how to get clients, how to take good care of your clients once you have them. No, you are not learning any of that. It is all a bunch of legal stuff. It's good to know. It's good to know. You'll probably never use it. You'll probably forget about it, but it is not the day-to-day practical things you need to know to be a realtor. So agents are just thrown out there and they're on their own. They probably don't know anybody at their brokerage. With revenue share, with this model, you then have another point of contact. Yes, at Real Broker. Again, I won't go into this either because I've made so many videos explaining this in depth that you can find after this one on my channel, on my playlist, Real Brokerage Explained. But Real Broker has more support, and this is one of the reasons why I said I would never join a cloud-based brokerage, by the way, is because I thought I would be on an island looking at a computer screen because it's cloud-based, having nobody to help me, and it would really suck. That's not the case. Real Broker, from my experience and the agents I've talked to here, which is many experience, is that Real Broker actually has way more support than a traditional brokerage for their agents. There's a lot more points of contact, people to reach out to. But the revenue share model allows agents to not pay for a mentor, or, they don't pay any extra fees to have a sponsor, so it's free to them. And they get somebody who's in their corner. They can reach out to them anytime they want and be like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel for my business like you do. Can we brainstorm some ideas together? Can you throw me some of like your first video idea suggestions? Or I had an agent not too long ago reach out to me. She had her first video tour that she did for a relocation client that came from her YouTube channel, which is super awesome. And I was able to send her, a voice text back and be like, hey, this is how I do my video tours. Don't do this, do this. Like, here's some tips for this. So your sponsor, what I'm trying to say is somebody who is another point of contact for you. Yes, you have a principal broker, but they're more like state-specific contract things. Your sponsor is somebody who is happy to answer whatever questions you have when it comes to prospecting, lead generating, YouTube, video marketing, all of those things. You can email them, text them, whatever, and they're happy to be in your corner and help you for free. Why is that a downside? Basically, it's just a way to be in collaboration and relationship with and community with other agents all over the country. And Real Broker truly, truly has the most collaborative platform and brokerage I've ever seen, and this is all part of it. But guys, we have not even gotten into the meat of today's video. Do not go anywhere because you are not going to want to miss what's at the very end. Let me turn my car on because it's getting hot out here. It's getting toasty. We are going to get into what I really wanted to share with you guys today, now that we got the elephants in the room out of the way, if you know what I'm saying. So you're thinking, that's great, Mariah, you've convinced me that this isn't a salesy thing. And again, we haven't even talked about why it's not recruiting and what separates it from recruiting, and it's not slimy, why it's not slimy. We haven't even talked about that. But you're like, I get it. If you come into this with the right heart and you genuinely just want to help and be there for and have a relationship with and be in community with and be available to answer questions or whatever for agents, and that's your heart, then this is not a slimy thing. This is actually a good thing for the sponsor, the sponsee, as well as the brokerage as well. It's a good thing for everyone. So you get that, but you're like, okay, how do I even do this? Where do I even begin? Well, let me just share with you the 3 things that I did to build a network of agents all across the country and how you can do it too. The first thing I did of three, is share your story. I started basically just talking about wherever you've got eyeballs, guys. If that's YouTube for you, if that's TikTok for you, it might be Instagram for you. It's not for me, but it might be for you. It might be your monthly newsletter you have to agents. It might just be your weekly meetup that you do with agents in your area, your mastermind. It might be LinkedIn. I don't know. Wherever you already are, wherever you have an audience, start telling your story. In person, not in person, over coffee, over whatever. Just start telling your story. And by that, I mean, make it personal and just share personally why you joined Real Broker, because everyone has their own reasons, but this is what's really made it easy for people to connect with my story. What I really did was I just started sharing on the platforms that I already used, that I already had an audience on, that I already had internet friends on. I just started sharing my story, why I decided to join Real Broker, especially after saying I never, ever, ever would. What the top things were that I loved about Real Broker, what the misconceptions were, the things that I thought I did not want to join a cloud-based brokerage because I thought it'd be like this, but then it was actually like this. What were those things? Make it personal. Only you have your story, and people connect through storytelling. Anyone can go on here and be like, here's the splits, caps, fee, the pros and cons. Anyone can do that, and plenty of people are. It's an extremely saturated place. That's why I say start where you already have an audience. Start where your people already are, no matter what platform that is for you, because they're all pretty saturated. You got to go where your people are already at. But just share your story and why you yourself joined Real Broker. Start talking about that. The second thing I did was add value, and don't ask for anything / add value before you ask for anything / just like add value, period. So what I mean by that is when I was a new agent, I got my listings, or my clients were mainly listings, and I got them through cold calling. Nobody I knew was going to work with me. I was 18. No one at my age was buying a house. The people my age's parents didn't trust me, and I don't blame them. So yeah, I was not getting business from people who already knew me. I had to go the cold calling route. For sale by owners was the main source of business for me for years. And what I did that really helped me win the for sale by owner was I would add value, and then eventually they're ready to list with someone, and it ended up being me oftentimes because I was the one that was already there adding value to them. The way I did that back then was I would type out on my laptop whatever, like, I don't even remember what I said. Just helpful tips for selling your home on your own, not trying to sell them, just helping them genuinely. Here's how you sell your home on your own. Here's how you can make your home look nicer and show ready. Like, just, I had so many different things that I would type out, print, and then send them in the mail. I would send them like one piece of mail a week. That was just adding value, offering help, offering my expertise and tips. That was it, okay? So add value first. The way this looks now is I offer free value online, and I have for years. I tell agents candidly, this is what's working for me in my business. I did not just begin this YouTube channel and start like making videos about Real Broker. That wasn't my channel. You know what? Like, I had this channel for years and was adding value, and I still am. I don't only talk about Real Broker, although it's a big part of my business and life, and generally, naturally, your YouTube channel kind of flows with where your life's at and what you're already talking about in the day-to-day, and so it's only natural for me to be sharing bits and pieces of my experience in life at Real Broker now. It's just what makes sense. I added value, though. I shared candidly for free. I didn't charge for my YouTube videos. I just shared, guys, I got a client from my YouTube channel. They raised my average price point, and it was awesome. This is what I did that worked for me and how you can do it too. And just added value. And then eventually people will reach out to you. Like, this is not going to be like the blueprint where you're like, okay, I have my business plan now. These are just some like tidbits and bits and pieces, things to chew on, tips if you want to participate in agent attraction, revenue share, whatever. And honestly, these are like sales tips in general. These will help no matter what you're doing with your real estate business, whether you're selling houses or not. But these are just some bits and pieces that I believe will help with agent attraction if this is something that you're wanting to pursue. But it doesn't have to be on YouTube. Again, it's probably better off on another platform unless you're already on YouTube. But if you have an audience on another platform, then like stick where your audience is at. Go where your audience is at. Go where your people are. You can add value on any social media platform you're on to agents. You can add value in an email list. You can add value in a in-person coffee shop mastermind that you throw for agents that are local in your market. There's so many ways you can add value. These are like I said, these are just some things to get your brain ticking when it comes to agent attraction, because there's a million ways you can approach this. And I know so many different agents that have approached this vastly different ways. These are just some ideas, and then you can take them and tweak them for what works for you. My last tip is be interested. That is easy to do when you're genuinely curious about people and you genuinely enjoy and love people and love and enjoy getting to know and meet people and hear about their businesses. That's something that I truly feel so much joy from doing, and it gives me life. Like, I love it so much. I get so happy when I get to do these Zoom calls with agents, because I'm not just being interested in them because I'm like, oh, this is sales tactic, whatever. Like, no, I genuinely can't wait to hear about their business. I genuinely want to know more about them. But that's a big thing when it comes to just sales in general, is like when I would go on a listing appointment, for example, when listings were the big part of my business, I didn't make it about me. I didn't feel the pressure to show up with this listing presentation sharing all the homes I've sold, why I'm the best why I'm the best person to list their house, all of that. I simply showed up ready to be interested in the person, like fully present, ready to be interested in the seller, care about their home, be interested in their home, and that's what won me the listing. And that is the same energy that I bring to these Zoom calls that I do with agents when it comes to agent attraction. Is I'm genuinely interested. It's not something I fake, but it is just the way that it works. Okay, so I'm not going to speak too much on this, but those are the 3 things that I did. I shared my story, started talking about my personal experience, why I joined Real. I made it personal. It wasn't just like, this is about Real. No, it was like, this is my story with Real, which anyone can do. 2, I added value. I added value for free before asking for anything, which you can do in so many different ways, so many different platforms, online or offline, which is really powerful nowadays because everybody is doing things online. Not as many people are doing things offline, okay? That's pretty cool to do nowadays, okay? And then 3rd, I was interested instead of just feeling the pressure to sell. I don't sell anyone. When I do these Zoom calls, I am not on here like, you should join Real. This is why it'd be good for you. No, not at all. I just want to hear about you and your business. It's very chill. And honestly, if you're wanting to participate in this revenue share business, knowing that should take a lot of the pressure off of you, because you don't have to sell anyone. You truly don't have to sell anyone anything. At the end of the day, revenue share is about agent collaboration. It is not me coming on here like some sort of team leader who thinks I'm above you. No, we have many agents in our community at Real who are brand new agents, yes, but we also have many agents who are experienced, who, you know, are decades older than I am and have a lot that I personally can learn from. And so think collaboration over a situation with like a leader ahead. No, it's not like that at all. That is not what this is. It is not your sponsor and then you under them. It is your sponsor and you. You guys we're not growing up and down, we're growing out, okay? We are all on the same level, and I just want to collaborate and be in relationship with agents. It's something I love. Like I said, I feel called to, I get joy from, and I'm super excited anytime I get to do it. So like I promised earlier, let me just share a few reasons why this is not recruiting and a few things that separate Real from other brokerages, because we want to keep our culture wonderful, not get it slimy at all, okay? At Real Broker, there's a handful of things in their ICA, their independent contractor agreement, that we are not allowed to do when it comes to revenue share. I am not allowed to say as a sponsor, if you join me at Real, I'm going to give you free coaching. I'm going to give you free masterminds that only the people in my network, my crew. Guys, that's gross. It's not my network or my crew. Like, it's just agents that I get to be in relationship with. That's it. That's always how we think of it, okay? Like I'm going to promise you this. I'm going to give you my free training course and this. No, we are not allowed to offer any of that. Actually, however, I am allowed to have a vested interest in your success at the company. How that usually looks, because I get asked this question all the time, is agents will email me. I'm happy to email them back. I always respond within 24 business hours, offering my best expertise, advice, point you in the right direction, however that looks. I'm always happy to hop on a phone call or a Zoom call if you want to schedule something like that and do some more brainstorming, but it's not like coaching. It's like we're real estate friends and hey, let's talk. Okay, but it's definitely more of like, you let me know when it works for you, and if you want to reach out to me, then we will chat. It's not where I'm over here like a team leader being like, hey, do you want to hop on a call with me? It's not really like that, okay? But it's definitely more of like as you need it basis, as you want to talk basis. I am always here for you, and I can truly and honestly say that every single one of the agents that I have had the privilege of getting to be a sponsor of at our brokerage, every one of them, everyone is somebody who I genuinely would want to be friends with in real life. And if we've only met over Zoom, that is real life, but you know what I mean, in person. They are all people who I vibe with in one way or another, even if we're not all exactly the same by any means. Like, that's not the case by any means, but they're all people that I genuinely enjoy, genuinely am excited to talk to. And this is just, it is truly a blessing to get to talk to and be in relationship with other agents. I love it so much. But I'm not allowed to promise you guys coaching and whatever. Like, we aren't allowed to do that as sponsors. I'm not allowed to cold call or text people and try to recruit them. Thank God. You are not allowed to do that at Real Broker. You are allowed to have a relationship with people about Real Broker, talk to people you already know about it, but you're not allowed to like randomly cold call agents you don't know, whatever. Like, we are not allowed to do that. That is not the vibe here, guys. That is not the vibe. I do need to add, at the beginning, I mentioned $5,000 a month is equivalent, residually is equivalent to $1.6 million invested at 6% interest, which is super, super cool. And if you know that, if I were you, I would be working on growing that, because why wouldn't you? It's going to take you way longer to save for a $1.6 million investment than it would to be working on building something like this. But you guys, it's not going to come easy. I don't want anyone to have that like in their minds of, oh, this is going to be just so easy. It is realistic, 1000% realistic. And I just use that as an example because $5,000 is equivalent to 1.6 million with 6% interest. That's what I gave as an example. I'm not saying anybody or everybody's going to make that. Okay. But would even an extra $1,000 a month residually benefit your life? And knowing that there are, I just need to add, you could make a lot less than that. You also could make significantly more than that. However, it's up to you how much you want to put into this thing. And it doesn't come easy. It's definitely the kind of thing where you put in the work, you don't see results, and then you finally start seeing results. And it does grow slowly, which is a good thing. Steady plodding leads to whatever. There's a Bible verse about it. I don't know what it says, but steady growth is a good thing. Okay. Slow, consistent, steady growth. That's good. That's what we want. We don't need a get rich quick scheme here. Nothing is truly a get rich quick scheme. If someone tells you it is, it's probably a scam. Okay. But this is not a scam. This is a very like steady flowing thing. It will take work. It will take consistency. It probably won't work for you unless you actually treat it like the business that it is, even before you see results. But if you're a realtor, you've been there. You know how to do that. You're an expert at that. You know, being a real estate agent in general, it takes months, sometimes more, of working and prospecting and cold calling and lead generating and following up and all of that without seeing the results. And then boom, we see the results. And once we see results, it can snowball and it's awesome. And you got to keep prospecting. You got to keep lead generating and marketing and doing the things, or your pipeline's going to dry up. Like, it is literally the same. It is literally the same. It's the same as real estate. Like, if you have the mindset of a realtor, if you have the strong mindset that it takes to be in real estate, because it's hard, guys. It's hard. Even if you've been in here for years, it's still hard. If you have that strong mental mindset, you can do this as well, okay? I do Zoom calls often with agents who are curious about joining Real Broker and what that would look like. If that's you, shoot me an email. I'm happy to set up a Zoom call with you. 1. 2, I have an entire playlist on my channel called Real Broker Explained, sharing everything you need to know about joining Real Broker. So find that, binge watch those videos. Hopefully that's a resource that's helpful to you. 3rd, if you are someone who is already in my world, in real estate, my real estate world, or if you're not in my real estate world, that's cool too. And agent attraction, revenue share, this is like, you're like, Mariah, that you got me thinking, I want to do this. This is something that's on my heart, something I want to try too. Guys, reach out. This is a huge passion of mine. It's something I really love doing. I love talking to agents. I love getting to chat with you guys. I love getting to chat with any of the agents. Like I said, the agents that we have attracted to Real Broker are some of the coolest people ever, like people I actually want to be in relationship with. So if you or somebody who named me as your sponsor, I know you, I know who you are, and I know who I'm talking about. If that is you and you're watching this, just know you're amazing, and I'm really grateful for you because, like I said, all of the agents, every single one of them that has joined us at Real Broker are people I legit really, really enjoy as a human being and think are all phenomenal human beings, and I'm just lucky to get to know. But all this to say, if you are somebody who is curious about popping into revenue share, you want to start doing this, or you just want to pick my brain about it, you want some advice on how to get started, you want me to help you come up with like a business plan for this, let me know, guys. I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to help you. Hope everyone has a great week, and I'll see you guys soon.